Welcome to Greenplum Summit 2020, the reimagined digital customer conference. My name is Jacques Eistock, and our next guests are Ning Fu and Joy Chen. Once you've made the decision to modernize your data warehouse and have gone through the efforts of upgrading to the latest versions, the next thing you're going to want to know about is how our revolutionary workload management, completely rewritten and integrated into Command Center, is going to make managing your clusters easier than ever. Joy?
Hello, everyone. I'm Joy. I'm product designer of GPCC. Funing here is the PM of GPCC. We're going to introduce the latest feature in the Command Center, an upgraded workload management. It's going to be available in GPCC version 4.11 and 6.3. It's a very exciting new feature, and we hope that it can change the way you manage workloads in GPDB. There are three parts in this talk. First, we will talk about the problems we're trying to tackle. Why do DBAs need this feature? Then we get into the technical part and talk about what our solution is. In the end, we will show some videos and screenshots so that you can see how it works. First thing first, why do DBAs need this feature? Or what benefits can it bring to the table? From several conversations with our fields and clients, we learned about how Greenplum DBAs manage their workloads and what challenges they're facing today. To start with, every day they're trying to make sure all the users in the system get their work done, whether it is to generate reports for the executives or to support the long-running queries from analysts. The result is a congested database that is filled with all kinds of queries that have taken up too much resources, and it takes longer to get query results. They also need to find a way to prioritize urgent requests and make sure they complete in time, which requires a flexible traffic management tool, especially during rush hours. How do we tackle these challenges? Let Funing introduce the solutions to you. They are resource groups and workload management.
Okay, so let's talk about the resource group first. Resource group is the new resource manager introduced in GPDB 5, and it is also available on GPDB 6. Similarly to resource queue, you can use it to control the resource limits on queries. You can manage the number of concurrency queries that different rules may execute, manage the amount of CPU and memory allocated to each query. But it is better than resource queue. Here are some main differences between the two resource managers. Resource group is recommended if you are running GPDB 5 or 6. It controls the concurrency limits on transaction level, so it doesn't have deadlocks issue on resources that the resource queue may have. And the resource group is based on Linux C group technology, so it guarantees CPU isolation and it is more accurate. And the resource group also has a stricter control on memory consumption. And with resource groups, we can have a better workload management. That we'll see in the next slide. With GPCC, you can route your important queries to a resource group that has been allocated sufficient resources so that the queries can complete in time. As for those less important or not time-critical queries, you can route them to a resource group that has fewer resources. And you can create rules or manually move queries to a resource group while the queries are running. With GPCC, you can, if you want to accelerate the query running, you can move them to a group that has more resources. And you can move queries out of the group to release resources to other queries. the rules are applied automatically, but you can also move queries manually on the fly from the query monitor. Besides moving queries, you can also about queries to prevent them consuming too much resources. You may define rules to cancel queries according to their CPU, time, liner cost, slice number, running time, and disk I/O consumptions. So that's the that's the basic knowledge. Let's see the live demo. First demo will show how to use resource group to prioritize queries.
If you have used resource queue before, GPCC can help you import the resource queues to resource groups. The previous ad hoc queue will be imported as ad hoc group. You need to specify the concurrency, CPU, and memory limit for each group on this page. It will take some time to import, and you will land on this page. This is the page to manage all your resource groups. You can add a new resource group here. You need to specify all these metrics. The CPU limit and memory limit cannot exceed 100%. Other than that, the settings should be dependent on your requirement. The more CPU and memory you assign to a group, the faster the queries will be processed. The statement memory indicates the amount of memory that a query can use. It is calculated from a formula using the group memory limit and memory speed ratio. You can also edit this resource group to make changes. In the second half, you can assign roles to a particular group from this page so that their queries will only run in the assigned group. For example, add a GPMon to the test group. Just type in the name and hit enter.
Next, we will show you how to create rules and move queries to other resource groups or about queries where the queries are running.
When you're new to workload management, you will see this landing page. Click Create a New Rule, and you enter the process. First, choose the identifiers. By default, the new rule will apply to all resource groups. You can change it to apply to a specific resource group, like default group. You can add other identifiers, including query tags and roles. If you don't want more options, simply delete it. In the second step, choose the conditions. Here are all the options. Let's choose CPU time. We want it to be more than 60 seconds. In step 3, choose an action. We can move this to other resource group, and then we will choose the destination resource group. Now the rule has been created. You can view it on this page. Next, we're going to create a rule to cancel the queries. We'll apply this to all resource groups. In the conditions, we can choose disk I/O when it is more than 200 megabytes. We can add a new condition as well. Say, set the running time to be more than 10 minutes. In action, we can choose cancel query and hit create. This is another rule. You can create rules based on your use cases or scenarios.
Last, you see this screen shows how you can move queries manually. The screen is the query monitor in GPCC. You can choose a running query and move it to another resource group. It is useful when you want to accelerate a long-running query to a resource group that has higher CPU and memory limits. Okay, so that's what we want to introduce today. I hope you like the feature, and I hope the GPCC workload management can help you resolve the problems. If you want to try it, please upgrade to the GPDB 5 or 6 latest version and download GPCC from the VMware Tens network. Thank you. And if you have any questions, please feel free to send to us.
Thanks, Ning, and thanks, Joy. We really appreciate you showing off some of the new ways to segregate workloads in Greenplum and truly make a hybrid transactional analytical platform an HTAP platform. So thanks again.